little physicists, what's the crack? So we're going to do today some nuclear physics, okay? So again, this is only a 2-mark question, but again, it's quite good because there's quite a lot of understanding in it, okay? So what it says is nuclear fusion only happens when we get 2 nuclei to touch together. And we know that the fusion of this helium nucleus will fuse with the oxygen nucleus when they are separated by 5.1 times 10 to the negative 15 meters. I'm going to calculate the total change in electrostatic potential energy, okay? So the first thing I'm going to look for is for what the electrostatic potential is in my data sheet. I know the electrostatic potential is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, or the permittivity of 3 space, times by Q over R. So that's just from your data sheet, okay? Because it says potential energy, if I look at my data sheet again, I can see the change in work is going to equal the change in V times by Q, okay? So to get from the potential into an energy, all I need to do is multiply with the other Q, the other charge. So now I know the change in our energy, because we're trying to figure out the change in the electrostatic potential energy, is 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught, or a permittivity of free space, times by Q over R, so that's my V, times by the other Q, so the other charge, okay? So then all I want to do now is I just plug in my numbers. So I plug in 1 over 4 pi times by epsilon naught. So epsilon naught in your data sheet is 8.85 times 10 to the negative 12. I have to multiply by charge 1 times charge 2, all divided by the distance between them. So the distance between the number is 5.1 times 10 to the negative 15. So now I have to look at my information to figure out what is their charges. Okay, so if I look at the charges here, that's helium-3, 2. So what that's telling me is the helium has got 2 protons inside it. So remember, the charge of a proton is +1, so the charge here in total is going to be +2. If I look at my oxygen, 17 is the mass number, 8 is the number of protons. So again, I've got 8 protons inside that nucleus. So I have 8 protons, and each proton, like we just said, is charged of +1. Oxygen then, that nucleus is going to have a charge of +8, okay? So remember, these are relative charges, okay? A proton doesn't really have a charge of +1. A proton has a charge of +1 times the charge of an electron. So that's actually going to be 2 times 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19. And this one's actually 8 times 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19. So I plug that in now. What I have is 2 times 8 times 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19 all squared, okay? So when you plug that number in your calculator, your final answer then for your energy comes out as 7.2 times 10 to the power of negative 13 joules, okay? And that's grand.